Hola my lovers, it's MJ from Auto Love TV. How are you? So, a shout out to Tabitha's Perspective. You commented, or somehow I got wind of a comment, and brought me to your channel, and then brought me to your most recent video about the ego to dissolve or evolve, which I really enjoyed. I enjoy, open-minded noodle sessions around our human concepts, and especially when it comes to like our mind and like how it works. And as far as our evolution goes, I would say even the concept of the ego is actually relatively new. And of course, as all of these concepts and meanings and interpretations go, one must discern and deduce and work it out for oneself. And, I personally sort of feel like the ego gets this really bad rap. In my personal experiential awareness, eventually even the concept of an ego kind of dissolves into the unity, like into the one heart, one mind, like you are your heart and mind, and ultimately that which would we would consider false identification. So the things in our external reality which we give power to, i.e. a job, a mask, a role, a material object, a certain amount of money, whatever, anything externally that we give our power to, if we're in earnest endeavoring a spiritual journey, that falsity will be washed clean, i.e. that egoic projection that ain't going with you where your soul wants to take you, it will wash itself out, i.e. it will dissolve and or evolve. And so working with that line of questioning, which I think is awesome, I really see the two aspects as one thing. The dissolution is the evolution. So when we are undergoing an emotional healing or a dissolution of an ego death, a new aspect of self is born. And of course we could attach, gosh, even just, I try to think about the acceleration with which so much energetic vibrational leaping has been done in these last few years, which, it's you almost become unrecognizable. At the same time, fortunately we can self-reflect and have hindsight around these cycles and see the learning, the expansion, the dissolution, the aspects of self which needed to be expressed and thus dissolved, because in truth they weren't in harmony with a higher, more empowered path, or a path that is truly in divine service, versus like my personal ego, which in fairness on that level, I would want to say that the ego projection on that base tone level has to do with unconscious familial imprints, ancestral wounding. And so then what you see is like we're bridging out this limited idea of what an ego is because we created it. We, someone one day was like, there's this thing in our mind and that's what we'll call the ego. We'll call it how we identify ourselves as a self, as a spark, right? And so of course, if we have a positive perspective of how the ego works in synergy and tandem in a positive way for our own personal construct to evolve, to become a better being, to become a more evolved being than woohoo yay ego. If of course we perceive the ego as this like base, disgusting, lowly, which this has nothing to do with Tabitha's chat. This is just my own like floating around that kind of noodle session. Oh, hello! Hey, Melissa, how are you? I miss you too, girl. I've been meaning to message you, actually. And in fairness, I've had a week off the yoga crew as well, just because of life. Like, hence why, again, I'm so thankful for this community and to be here. Eliza Mancini. Eliza, you are loved. Melissa, you are loved. Everyone here. Elf, hi. How are you? And how is it being back in? I want to live in America. How is it being back living in America? Or I should say, really, the United States, shouldn't I? I don't know. Is that the correct way? Yeah. So yeah. When I was biofeedbacking and engaging with Tabitha's perspective, like legit, this is the kind of outpouring or insights that came through me, was like the dissolution and the evolution is like one and the same. You know, to the point that we wouldn't, because so much of, I would say, the evolution of psychological study to me is all part of leading us to this new paradigm or paradigm shift perspective, like this ability to shapeshift ourselves and be higher vibrational, more evolved beings, which the way that looks is, again, the sensitives, the like working with energy, understanding in the core of our being how it works that we are creating this reality, because otherwise it's just more spins and wheels and kind of going around in circles trying to look for ourselves out in the world out there, which we can never find, except for, of course, these inner connections and these perspective shifts and these awakenings, we call them, right? So, and that to me is awakening beyond the veil of that which we'd call this a negative interpretation of the ego, right? And it's the way we define things, because in fairness, the way I'm bridging in, I mean, I don't often talk too much about the ego, I don't think. I'm sure it just comes out, spills out, as often many things do, but like I'm more kind of looking at the energetic wholeness of a being and then the biofeedback energetic exchange, because when I go too much into the analytical, when I go too much into trying to figure it out, I lose it all. Hence where my heart space, when I'm engaging with certain types of energies or material or information, I unify it. There's no separation. It's only ever our perception, including how we define the ego as a construct, as a part of the construct of the entirety of ourselves. And if I'm honest, like I don't particularly necessarily res with it, because ever since my awakenings, I've been so aware of like, yeah, I guess people are chasing the illusion, which people are egotistical. They're chasing the illusion. I've always been more inwardly focused. And because, again, I started reading spiritual text when I was really young. So I was aware of like, well, if this is saying this, then what the blah is this? And like, how does this all fit together? And why aren't we as a culture talking about this stuff if it's so fucking powerful? And blah, 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 you know, wanting to outwork it for myself. Hence, you know, 20 years later, it's like, okay, there's a business that's anchored in this 3D reality that comes from heart space. There's a platform for sharing. There's like increasingly opening dimensions and realities landing in my field, going, do you want this or this or this or this or this or this or this? And I'm like, and meditate, you know, like as in tune into the heart. And because I would say when you're really tuned into the heart, there's no, ego doesn't even come into the equation. Because people will be like, oh, but the ego's positive. I'm like, sure, it's whatever we interpret it to be in any given moment. I don't think anyway, because I'm not materially driven and I have no desire to control people or like power over people or like use any of my personal desires to make people feel bad or anything like that. It's like, when it really is coming from that genuine heart space, like no thing will stop you from manifesting. But how I feel into manifestation is like the truth of it is it will purify your heart, i.e. it will dissolve or evolve your ego, because it's almost like where collective humanity, like the body of Christ, where it's moving to, don't have no space for those limitations. Which, as we can see, when people are driven by their soul, like, I want it all, I need to have the power, I need to own the resources, I need to whatever, most of us in a more open-hearted space can look at that behavior and be like, what the blah? And thus, some people will call it egotistical. But again, I would say that's like that's the base tone attachments to that old perception of I am separate from my reality, therefore I must dominate it. I must conquer it. I must divide it up and conquer, right? It's like we're now as a humanity going, ooh, it's like higher base tone, higher frequency, and then looking at the entirety of that construct going, it can't be that way, it must be this way. And this is what I'm sharing right now is like so entirely like what my own personal reality is sitting with is like, not that anymore, this. because the heart wants it, because the heart has an earnest desire. And because I've already been in what I lived, I know darn well those messages, those intuitive guidances. And there's a little bit of, oh God, because there's a lot of things to face. But at the same time, it's like when you taste freedom and then liberation, when you taste that kind of like, you don't want to go back. And then it builds momentum, and then you're inspired, and you're continually heart led. And it might be little kind of like breadcrumbs like along the way, but if you just keep picking them up and believing they're guiding you, I truly believe you land. And this is the thing, is that I've been through these manifestation paths before, and I'm beginning to remember and seeing 333 everywhere. It's like guiding me and reminding me, I've done this, I've been here. Before the more again, money in the bank kind of manifestation, when it came to my yoga career, there's a lot going on to reflect that. And that when we think we're there, we're not there. And then we think we're there, we're not there. We think we're there, we're not there. But it's like being guided regardless of what other people think, regardless of what agreements and contracts you have, regardless of what anything around you looks like, just being guided by the purity of your own heart's desire as a divine spark of the soul's essence that you are. Like that is the glory of God. That is the manifestation of thine kingdom, right? And we're here at the precipice of these manifestations landing for us. Yeah. And it's not even like forward and back, is it? It's loop-de-loop. It's like going around in circles, and it's recognizing that pattern for what it is and going, enough is enough. Like now it's not even like it's rising. I feel like we've been rising the whole time. It's like, we're here now. Right? Let's make this pinnacle. Let's make this peak. Let's make this plateau. Let's make this new vibration as beautiful and as epic as possible, as sovereign and, like just as juicy and free. Like the honesty and the freedom of our own manifestation, and the clarity of our example, and the clarity of our vibration. And this is part of that leap into the next level of teachings, of embodied teachings, is like it only ever works through us. It's not outside of us. Juicy is a good goal, isn't it, Eliza? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like back in the day, I'm talking like what, 12 years ago or something in India, or 10 years ago in India, going to the different ashrams, studying with the gurus, and then there was this bass tone. Not always, but some of the times it was like this sort of misery, or the priesthood, like this sort of somber misery. And I'm like, God dang. Here I am like reading and researching like there's never going to be enough information, and then I'm meeting these like people that are meant to be the kind of figurehead and epicenter of these sort of holy lands, and they radiate this sort of, and I think, no, this can't be it. Like this isn't there's a subtle illusion here to think that our spiritual practices lead us to some kind of austerity, or like that we have no desires, or that we're just these calm channels. To me, it's actually like more about coming alive, being fully expressive, being fully compassionate, being fully aware of all of the, the disruptions and the distortions, and fully being able to shine it down from within the light of your own pure example, and then your pure vision. And that's so much of where a lot of these traditions and schools and yogic things came from. I'm not saying they're not pure, and they're not effective channels for positive change and growth. I did them. We're all, whether we go to university, whether we train with a guru or a healer or a doctorate or whatever, it's all part of our own evolution. Exactly. Enlightenment it's completely organic, because it's only related to the self. It's like no star in this cosmos is exactly the same. No snowflake, no blade of grass, and thus when you recognize the purity of one's unique essence, you begin to unravel anything that makes it conformist, which is where we get a little bit trapped. I've been there too, in our spiritual dogma, or religious dogma, or institutional dogma, or academic dogma, or economic dogma, or political dogma. Any of these sort of institutionalized bodies that are like, this is how it is. No, that is how we created it to be, and we can change it. Because, I was down by the water today doing my little ceremony, and I was watching the water in this way where it was like, oh my God, we are more like water than any other thing, right? And it's like, when you watch how the water is just moving infinitely, always flowing, sometimes a little bit rustly, sometimes pure and clear, I'm like, we are the essence. And that's been a huge control of the people. So I'm just gonna have to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then naturally it's like send out the call and be yourself. And then you try the people who be resin, they find you natural, you know? So yeah. And then that's what inspires me. That's what suddenly, especially in the here now, like where I've been these last few days to get to this point, be like, this is it. This is all I want. This is all it. And like these conversations with, oh yeah, lovers. The tarot I just think is infinite, like the yoga. When yoga came into my life, I was like, this is some good shit. Same with the tarot, like and also the way the tarot has provided an additional service for Ultra Love to provide. Because I just think how intuition works is miraculous, and it pleases the heart space to offer that divine guidance via the cards and to have it resonate with the people who are organically finding ways to book. Similar like the courses. You know, the few lovers out there who have purchased the online Be the Change courses, like, they're enjoying them for what they are. You know, like, it's just a unique, and that's part of bringing our higher ideals and bringing our manifestations to this earth and navigating it in the 3D construct. Because that's another biofeedback I'm getting. It is a challenge, and yet we can all do it. If any one of us can do it, we can all do it, and or we can support one another because for me as well, the new paradigm thing, and this is why energy alignment is so effing powerful, and like I didn't even realize how powerful it was. It's like the make or break, you know, in essence, when it comes to being really clear about energetic exchange versus mental gobbledygook or mental patterning, right? Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, and if you care enough for the living, make it a better place for you and for me. Sometimes NJ likes to break out into song. So, after I left the live sugar this morning, I did a little meditation session, get my crystals and my sunpowder ready to go down to the beach. And I have now, well, I posted a picture, sweet girl, love it, Maxine. I have so much love for, what was I even thinking about? The singing? Oh, I pulled 3 cards from my new gifted tarot set. And so the 3 cards were up, like look up, and I was like, yeah, I know. All right, like I know I'm into fucking shit, so I know I need to look up. And then it was about, you know, it wasn't like that. I was like, I know. And then, so up, and then it was music. And I ended up looking, which I don't often do because I'm so gosh darn intuitive. I actually like looked in the book to be like, so I just naturally intuitively laid down 3 cards, and I was like, I wonder if there's like a 3 card spread, and there was. So it actually told me, it was like, okay, the first card is like where you are, i.e. look up. I'm like, yeah, I see it. As in also, it's like rely on your spiritual guides and look up to the heavens and believe again. I got such deep in the shits that I almost was like, I can't find my way out. The shit's weighing me down. I'm gonna crumble under the shits. And then the tarot cards reminded me to just look up, and I'm like, oh yeah, beautiful sky is here. Like, life is beautiful. Like, get over yourself. It's like, it's just so weird. Energy is so weird, right? As in, it's weird compared to when we actually thought the 3D construct was like the real reality. So then it was up, and then music. And Divine Sight has been sharing a lot of music with me and with the community, and playing, you know, the drums and playing, and I'm feeling that kind of playful creative flow. And so it told music, I said, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk by myself, not take the dog with me, like just do a walk for myself, go down to the beach, find a little spot, do a ceremony. So I bring my headphones, makes a nice difference already just on the walk. I'm like, oh yeah, God, I need music back. Like, because sometimes when I'm in really depressed mode, it's like, you know, just having a shower every day is like good to go kind of thing. We shall not be fooled again. Yes. Thank you. This is the tribe. The soul familia tribe. Like, straight up, if the tribe isn't be resin here, it's like I can't be dealing with. Sorry, my lovers. Like, if you don't get this, then you're not gonna get it from me. You're not gonna do it for me. Okay? Anywho, so I take the music, I take my phone with me, hence why I had the photographic evidence of my ceremony, whereby I enfolded all my intentions and dreams. I literally have been laying down for like 6 years. So I folded those up, and then I like put in from the San Paulo charcoal, like from the burny bit, I just put all to love, hearts everywhere, and cast it into the ocean, where all my previous ceremonies I've burned it. This time I didn't burn it. I just cast it into the water because I had that beautiful meditation before like bringing the intentions and the energy of that into the sea, and I just put it into the sea. I was like, I don't need to burn it. It felt like that. Anywho, so then music was the one. Ultra Love Tribe is strong. Yes, it is. So then I brought that to the sea. My crystals are still charging. They're going to be so powerful. They are powerful anyway, but music and then manifestation. So my 3 cards were up, like look up, listen to music, and then manifestation. And then part of that whole thing is like, I'm just like doing my best to lift myself out of the deep funk of the past 2,000 ages of oppression. I'm just like, fuck, like I know we joke about it here, but you feel me? You know, and you're just like by yourself trying to move your arse, and it feels like it just wants to stay stuck in the ground forever, and you're like, all the shit I thought I was breaking free from is coming back to claw me back down. So that's how that's been going, and like Divine Sight has been like, play, and I'm like, yes, play, like, but I have this weird part of me that sometimes is like, see, it's like my inner critic judgmentor that is like, you're like, play, and I feel all depressed mode. I go through this loop of like, see, you can't even fucking play. You can't even enjoy yourself. So you fail at failing. I'm just like, anyway, it doesn't make sense. However, but the truth is, I'm aware and she's aware. It's like, I just gotta sit through this density malarkey and rise out and like see what the universe is trying to get me to see, and just being like, holla, what's going on? And so obviously I'm like, I need to play more. I gotta just like let loose and have fun, because it's been so heavy. And only kind of in these last like few weeks, I'm really seeing the pattern, which then you kind of double up, kind of beat yourself up for being like, God damn it. Like, how did I do that again? But this is good teachings, right? Like, come on, you gotta really know it. And there's a piece about sovereignty. The sovereignty piece is knowing the truth of your heart's orientation. Is that I'm claiming my sovereignty because I know for a darn fact that my whole entire adult life I have lived from my heart and endeavored to live in divine alignment. And so nobody can tell me otherwise. And damned if I'm gonna align myself with people who are not there, you know, who are not living in that heart space, and pretending otherwise doesn't serve any of us. Free the willow. God, I love you guys. You guys are so my tribe. I so love you. Free the willow. It's happening for sure. The sovereignty piece. The sovereignty piece in unity with the whole and the good of all. Like, all to love. Holla. Can't we just be free? Yes, you can. Radiate from your heart space. Shine your light. Find your tribe. Expand the love. Like, sort of that easy. Here's the juicy good bit. So I finished my ceremony. And it just so happens that, but by the way, Faye B, thank you so much for the donation offer. That looked like kind of her scary bite. I don't know why, but I'm just kisses of love. So I finish my ceremony. I'm like, bye intentions, because these intentions, again, I've been on a loop even setting these intentions. Like, are you just gonna step into it now? It's like, oh yeah, I gotta do that for sure. And again, this is the beauty of manifestation. So I'm like, I need to play. Last 24 hours, I've been kind of going into those spaces within myself of like, I need help. you know, like it's not easy for my Aries sun and Capricorn ascendant energy because I'm fucking strong and independent and I can do it on my own. But then it's like, no, what's coming in for me is like surrender, let go, and ask for the help you need. So I've been asking for help. So I'm guided today to the beach. I know I need to play, yeah. And I end up stumbling back up these staircase. I wasn't really sure where the stairs were gonna lead me, and they ended up leading me into this same internal message. Yeah, we gotta just play, lighten up, like be in this dreamy space and just remember the freedom. Gosh, the joy, right? So and in case you don't know this, like I love surfing. I do love a lot of outdoor stuff. I like cycling. I love surfing. I love rock climbing. I'm not like necessarily excellent at any of these things, but I love them. They feel good. I love hiking and trampolining. When I was a small child, like before the dancing and the figure skating and the tennis and all the other sports came in, we used to trampoline. So trampolining is like mega fun as well. So I'm coming back up off the beach and I end up in this sort of like what feels like a resort kind of complex, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm trying to find my way out. I see the nice little pool. It's all like private, like no one's around. I'm like, maybe I'll sneak in here tomorrow. But I'm going to, because I'm going to tell you what I found. So I'm like sneaking around, not sneaking, I'm just like trying to find my way out, which I did, and I scaled down these rocks. Anyway, suddenly I turn the corner off the back of the pool, and what is there in front of me but a trampoline? Like, I kid you not as well, I could actually post the video that I made for Divine Side to be like, look at what I found and now I'm playing. A trampoline that basically looks out onto the entire coastline. That's so great. So I jumped on the trampoline whilst listening to my fucking badass Fat Freddy's Drop tunage, some kind of like upbeat reggae vibrashe, and I'm just like bouncing up and down, looking at the view, being like, I'm free! Like, thank you, universe! Give me some fucking juice! And as I'm jumping on a trampoline is like a little kiddie rock climbing wall. So I just scaled the wall forward and back a few times. Fun. And then jump in the trampoline with my music and make a little video for Divine Side. Be like, look at how much fun I'm having. It was an adult funning. Do you guys feel that? Where I was still like, but I did it. I still did it. You know, we're adult, it's for the children's area. And I'm like, there's no children around and I don't care because I need to play. So that happened and that was super fun. And obviously me reaching the play, like me touching and tapping the play vibrashe is part of what's brought me to share today. Because there's this sense of really committing to Alta Love and my freedom. But like the freedom for the whole. You know what I'm saying? Like the truth of freedom vibrashe. To be like, if one self can do it, the entire self can do it. Come on! And so far what I've learned is that we don't really do it by like hooking into each other and feeding one another's ego vibrashe. And these are subtle energies which it just depends. I was gonna say it could take years and years of meditative practice. And like, I don't fucking know. People have the awareness they have, right? People are who they are. And the one thing I know for darn sure is that I can just be completely myself here. And so this is where I've been guided. This is the platform for the expansion, for sure. Why did I ever doubt it? Like, how could I have ever doubt? How did I not totally 100% believe in it? Oh, you don't until you don't. Like, you don't see these loops until, and again, I've been banging on about this the last 2 or 3 days. Like, you don't see the loop until you're clearing it, kind of thing. It's like so unconscious and subtle is the way that we people please, and the way we focus on other people instead of ourselves is a weird deterrent of our own lack of self-belief, right? It's a distraction. Maybe, I mean, just in case. It's like a plan B. I'm not a plan B type of person. God damn it. So, anywho, and again, you guys make it all real. You make it all hip happening, a hip to the hip hop, and you don't stop rocking. I don't. If you're new to this channel, just know that I don't know the lyrics to songs, but tunes. Clearly, we're a musical creative bunch because tunes just like drop into my brain, and I'll start a singing, even when I have no idea what I'm actually singing. But usually you guys do, and then you tell me, and then you give me the tune, and then sometimes, but very rarely, I will learn an extra line. Is it right, Faye? You know, you feel me? Like, were you the kid, like the Space Cadet kid, who everybody was just like, no, that's not the lyrics. I'm like, I don't know, and I don't care. I have mad respect for good lyrics. I have mad respect for amazing lyrics and like soulful music, but I just don't see. That was another reason I knew that I wasn't destined for musical theater. Is like guaranteed almost every single performance I would lose a line. I would just be like la 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 la, and then I would just completely forget what the word. They're like, Molly, it's duh, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And that was also like clearly I wasn't destined to be an actress because I just didn't really care. They would be like crying after a performance. I'm like, it's a performance. Like, it's not the be all and end all of existence. Although, I mean, you guys see me here. I cry when people troll on this channel. So, like, I shall not judge. I shall practice as best I can to not judge. Hey, but I shall not judge myself, right? So, holla, forgive, you off the hook. Just like that. Like, for rizzles, though, y'all. People, this is legit the truth. You have the power to forgive yourself. How do you know you're forgiven? Things get better. You heal. Your people around you heal. People disappear from your life, maybe. New people come in, and everything feels a little bit different. Why? Because you're forgiven. Because you're not carrying a bunch of like resentment and like shady shit in your heart space that would limit you from living a life that you deserve, which is beauty and love, if that's what you're choosing in your heart. Whereas, like, I'm aware there's a lot of, like, for some people, there's a whole bunch of chaos and confusion and not feeling great about themselves. And they want all the good feels, but holla, you gotta work on that shit from within yourself, eh? It's so much lighter. Holla, I love you guys. Hold on, easy does it. Hold on. I mean, I don't know if I can do it. Doing it right. Oh my God. I grew up in Italy, Eliza, with English lyrics, music. Well, okay, so Eliza, straight up legit, honey bunches of oats. You have, like, what do I want to say? I'm English. Listening to English music. So technically there's no excuses other than my lack of retention of words. Or just like not quite hearing it. Like I remember there was a Gwen Stefani song where I'm pretty sure somebody was like, Molly, she's saying you come in with the breeze. And I was always saying you came in with debris, as in like you came in with a bunch of debris on you. And so my friend who was like, she was like photographic for lyrics and just all words, she would have a photographic memory and she would just be like, and like super smart. So like my space cadet vibrashe sometimes, or my gullibility, or my naivety, she would just be like, oh my God, Molly. I'm like, like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I know. I mean, I feel you. I was still singing. This is it, right? Just sing. Just sing. When the sun comes up bright and beaming. That's from Friends. It was full of some sort of intent. You know it. Shazam. Shazam is the word from the day. So my battery is getting low. And so as much as I like to do, like, you know, sing song along, not knowing the lyrics, I also do these accents. And I'm trying, I don't even know, I don't consciously do the New York accent. But I'm like, is that kind of it? But then what's the difference between the New York and then the Boston? What's the Boston? How do you like them apples? Like, I don't know, they're all like a little bit sames. And then of course, you know, I live in England. So I do like a bit of Paul Showman also. And I mean, the origins over here are Canadian. I'm just like a small town Canadian girl. Like, what the F am I doing in Portugal? How did I get here? I'm not sure, but now I'm here. It's like all of life. Like, now I'm doing this. And like, I swear to God, like, there's people who are just like, but you're doing it like this, right? Nope. There's no form, and there's no rhyme or reason other than the beat of my own heart. Hello. I think people want to try to make it, but it's like this, right? But it should be there. And or actually, no, you can't do that. And then I used to try to fit myself into everybody's boxes to try to make it all nice for them. And I'm like, I can't do it no more. So, you've got to break free. I see, that's it. I don't know any other words. You've got to break free. I'm sure there is some legendary fucking rockin' tunes there. Katie J, how are you, girl? It's enough. It's more than enough, isn't it? God, right? And so I gotta say, it's like I just laughed trying to not wake up my neighbors. Jennifer, how are you? Oh, Katie J, you guys, I fucking love you. So that's like how they talk in Liverpool, but it's not like a Liverpool Scouser would be like, ooh, that's not Scouse. But just so you guys know, when I talk like that, that's like a shitty Scouse accent. Because I lived in Liverpool for 6.5 years. I don't. I prefer when I go into my school. Oh God, you guys, get out of town. Get out of town, you guys. So I'm endeavoring to just love myself fully and unconditionally and to let go of all old fears and distortions, just step into the new and be completely free. To shine light for all to love and all my lovers who believe. I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of the heart. Yeah, Scouse is, but you gotta love the Liverpudlians. Like, Liverpool is a great city. It's fucking great, miss. It's fucking great. But, you know, these guys who talk like that, it's a bit nicer. They're like the posh Scousers. They have a little bit of a, like, you know, singing. They be singing when they talking. And then you got the, and then you have more like the rough scallies, the scallies who talk anyway, blah blah blue blue. Let's put some music on and just dance. Just dance. I'm thinking David Bowie, is that right? Let's just leave it on that note. Just dance. Put some David Bowie on, take your clothes off, and dance in your kitchen. I don't know why, but that is what's gonna happen somewhere in the world. And it's gonna lift everyone up to higher heights. That's like the truth, isn't it? Come on, let's just all dance and love ourselves unconditioned, just like all that isness is in love with all of life, right? The neighbors will love it, Katie J. You gosh darn know that to be true. But really, truly, do what you desire and I shall do what I desire, and together we will love and accept one another in the entirety of the spectrum of our humanity. Because we know there's a bunch of shiznizzles and some beautiful cosmic light and just this epic divine presence. So let's make ourselves better by using that divine cosmic beautiful stuff to just like shine and sculpt and mold the shit into something very beautiful indeed. The earth, which is already beautiful, we just have to just like remember that and like line it up, right? That's the right accent for that concept. Thank you. That's genius, vibrashe. You guys, I love you. I'm gonna go now. Thanks again for the donation, purchases, and mostly just for choosing love and being here. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I'm so thankful. Thank you. Holla. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.